afternoon, 4 children are at Sick Kids Hospital after falling ill while swimming in a pool at the Royal Canadian Yacht Club on the Toronto Islands. These are pictures of the children being brought to shore by the Toronto Police Marine Unit. One child with an oxygen mask on had to be carried to a waiting ambulance. The other 3 were able to walk on their own. The children were on a field trip to the Island Club when it's believed they came into contact with some chemicals in the pool. The conditions of the 8 and 9-year-olds, not yet known. Stay with CP24 for more on this developing story. This is EMS Week in Toronto. It's time to highlight the incredible work of the emergency medical services. When someone calls 911, paramedics assess, treat, and transport the patient to hospital. Often those calls relate to water emergencies, particularly as we usher our way into spring and summer holidays. Joining us live right now is CP24's Karen Lieberman at the EMS station on Queens Quay. Got some demonstrations for us, and how timely is this, Karen?
Absolutely timely, Ed, because we'd heard about a couple of incidents over the weekend. It is the first long weekend of the summer, and it's notorious for lots of people heading out on their boats and summer fun and water fun. Unfortunately, I was just being told it's also notorious for the number of drownings. So we're trying to find ways of avoiding any incidents on the water, things that you should know when you head out on the boats. This long weekend. Today is a little overcast. The sun's just peeking through right now, but still lots of boats on the water, and there will be lots more this afternoon. So I'm going to head over here right now, and I'm joined by Marine Unit Paramedic Paul Tarsitano. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And we were just talking about this little paper you've given me here, and it talks about cold water immersion. It says cold water immersion can kill. Tell me a little bit about how long you would need to be in the water, maybe on a day like this, or does the weather have any effect before really you're in trouble?
Yeah, absolutely. The key thing is water temperature. And in Ontario, Lake Ontario is very cold, and the lakes are very cold up north. So if you think about it, at temperature about 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 7 degrees Celsius of the water temperature, you have about a minute, it's cold water shock, a minute to 3 minutes. And you'll actually start gasping because of the cold shock. And without a life vest, you'll drown almost immediately. From there, if you survive the 3 minutes with the life vest, you have about 30 minutes before you go unconscious unless you have a thermal protection, a dry suit or a wetsuit.
So while you're pointing, so show me a few of these items that you have here.
Okay.
So this is obviously a life jacket, and we know that that is really a necessity anytime you go on the water.
Actually, this is a PFD, a personal flotation device. The life jacket, it has more flotation in the front, which turns you around if you're unconscious. But the key thing with the life PFD or life vest, that you have to have it approved from the Canadian Coast Guard and also from Department of Transport, okay? And it has to be in good condition, and it fits. That's the key. And wear it. You've got to wear it. What I like to do, and it's a good idea, is always have a whistle attached to the zipper. So when you do it up, it'll remind you to do it up, and you can also have the whistle ready to go. So a PFD or life vest.
Days ago, Toronto Harbour was frozen over, so you know how bone-chilling the lake water remains tonight. Jackson Prosco live at the lakefront with a story of 2 men who are lucky to be alive, Jackson.
Yeah, Leslie, that's true in every sense of the word tonight, because when you take a look at that water behind me, it's just a degree or two above the freezing point, which is why police say it doesn't take long for hypothermia to set in. But that didn't seem to stop 2 men from today from deciding to go for a swim in the harbor. The men were pulled from the water hypothermic and intoxicated. They had jumped into the icy harbor near York Street about 15 minutes earlier. Not such a good idea with water temperatures hovering near the freezing point.
We only really had a matter of minutes to get there.
Police and paramedics say the bystander who tossed out the life preserver did in fact save lives. By the time the men were rescued, they were in serious condition, barely able to keep floating. In water like this, hypothermia can set in just minutes.
They're very, very lucky that they're alive right now.
It's believed drugs or alcohol were a factor in this near drowning, but it's not clear if either of the men will face any charges.
All the way up, guys. Okay, 1 second.
And you know, you've got those remarkable pictures, but with the ice like that, that's why the Marine unit's warning people to stay away from the water. It is deceiving because the harbor has started to break up, but certainly, as we saw right there, a potentially very dangerous situation. One other note we should pass along here, the police service is considering the person who threw in the life preserver and called 911 for a possible citation. Leslie, back to you. All right.